My golden boy brother stole my future, so I made him lose everything that made him golden. My brother Aiden treated life like a zero-sum game where he could only win if I lost, and he played it perfectly. I'd known what I was to him since my 16th birthday dinner when Mom made my favorite lasagna, and for once, I was the focus. Then Aiden walked in 40 minutes late, wearing his football jersey and fake limping from a brutal tackle. Everyone rushed to get him ice while my birthday cake sat untouched. He caught my eye and dropped the limp completely before winking. "Sorry, kiddo, but you know how it is with big brothers and little shadows," he said, while taking the first slice of my cake. That became his catchphrase whenever teachers called me Aiden's brother instead of my name. But things got worse when I started tutoring Reese in calculus. She was sharp and funny, and actually preferred my awkward explanations to the smooth talk most girls loved. We'd study at the library and she'd laugh at my math puns instead of asking about Aiden's football schedule. Then he started showing up to pick me up from tutoring. Within a week, Reese stopped needing help with calculus and started leaving with him instead. When I confronted him, he just laughed. "Girls like that are practice rounds anyway. Don't take it too seriously." Then came my acceptance letter to an Ivy League college. I'd worked for it quietly, never telling anyone except Mom, who'd helped with the application. I was holding the letter in our kitchen, hands shaking with excitement, when Aiden walked in and saw it. His face went completely still. "Let me see that," he said, taking it from my hands. He read it slowly, then looked at me with something cold in his eyes. "Yale? You? No way." He laughed, but it wasn't his usual laugh. That night, he called Yale's admissions office claiming to be me and withdrew my acceptance citing personal reasons. I only found out 3 days later when they sent a confirmation email about my withdrawal. My chest felt like it was caving in as I read those words. I called them frantically, but they said the withdrawal was final and came from my phone number. I checked Aiden's call history while he was at practice and found everything there. When I confronted him, I screamed at him for the first time in my life. "That was my future." He just shrugged. "You wouldn't have lasted there anyway. I saved you the embarrassment." I lunged at him, but he pushed me back easily, still smirking. The next week was hell with Mom asking why I seemed depressed and Dad suggesting community college might be more realistic anyway. I couldn't tell them what Aiden had done because who would believe the golden boy sabotaged his own brother's future? I spent most nights staring at my computer trying to reapply to other schools, but nothing compared to Yale. One night, I was clearing my browser history to hide my pathetic college searches when I noticed Aiden's work email was still logged in from when he'd used my laptop to check work emails. I clicked on it absently and saw dozens of emails marked confidential about some major merger he was managing. He'd been bragging about this deal for months at dinner. I sat there reading about millions of dollars and insider information and suddenly realized I had his entire career in my browser. The plan basically formed itself. I started taking screenshots without really thinking too hard about the consequences. The email showed his investment firm was secretly helping a pharmaceutical company acquire their competitor for $40 per share while the stock was trading at 25. Aiden's team had been buying shares for themselves before the announcement would double the price. One email from Aiden said, "We need to keep buying through our personal accounts before the March announcement makes us rich." Another showed him telling his girlfriend to buy 10,000 shares through her father's account to avoid detection. I kept reading and found a whole thread where his team discussed which family members could buy stock without triggering suspicion. They were planning to make millions from information only they had. I sat there with 20 screenshots on my desktop just staring at them. I opened a new browser window and searched for financial news sites that covered Wall Street. One blog came up that promised anonymous tips and source protection. My finger hovered over the contact link for what felt like hours. Then I thought about Aiden's smirk when he said he'd saved me from embarrassment. I created a throwaway email and attached the screenshots showing the stock manipulation and insider buying scheme. I wrote one line saying this came from someone at the firm. The blog posted everything 4 hours later. By morning, the SEC had frozen all trading on both companies and launched a criminal investigation. They traced the emails to Aiden's account within 2 days. His firm fired him immediately, and the SEC charged him with insider trading. He had to pay back $200,000 in illegal gains and got banned from finance permanently. He moved back home and now works at Dad's accounting firm doing basic bookkeeping for $30,000 a year.